Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome back to another Marvel Heroes Omega closed beta video. For this particular video we will be having a look at the legendaries that are currently available in the game. Now the legendaries, these are available via a currency called Odin Marks, and you can get Odin Marks either by completing legendary quests, or if you want to get them a bit quicker you can use the currency boost, and up to 5 stacks of currency boost would mean that each boss would actually drop 6 marks. Now you need 300 in total for a legendary, but you really want to aim for these for any of your main characters because they will be required to advance to the later levels, because they offer a huge amount of damage and that's needed to actually get through the trials in the limited time that's provided for you. So let's have a look at these legendaries. We'll discuss what heroes they could work on and the different affixes as well. So here we go, let's have a look at them. First legendary we look at here then would be the Casket of Ancient Winters. Now with this, it offers 1500 damage rating to ice, wind and also electric powers. That could work well on Iceman or Storm. Rank 4 on it is 1000 damage rating versus enemies with slow, and the rank 5, this is generally some kind of proc. This particular one is 5% chance when you hit to summon a snowstorm that slows enemies and also does dot damage for 5 seconds with a 5-second cooldown. Next up we have the Cosmic Control Rod. It's offering 1200 energy damage rating, 1500 critical hit rating to energy powers, 2000 health, 200 spirit, and the rank 5 is each hit applies a stack of cosmic energy, increases your health regen by 10 per stack at 15 stacks, which would equate to 150 health regen per second. You become cosmically charged and it grants you 1000 damage rating to energy powers. So offhand I think this would work fantastic on the likes of, let's see, Iron Man actually, because he benefits from spirit and he can also have energy builds. It would probably work pretty well on Star-Lord as well when I think about it. Next legendary we have Excalibur, and it's 1000 damage rating to sword powers, 2000 health, 1500 critical hit rating to sword powers, 1000 brutal strike rating to sword powers, and 5% chance on any hit for your enemies to bow before Excalibur's might, stunning them for 8 seconds. So heroes that use swords off the top of my head would be Kitty Pryde and Blade. Now I will quickly mention for anyone that is new to the game, when you see Brutal Strike you may be wondering what that is. So in action RPGs, in any RPGs normally you can have a critical hit. What a Brutal Strike is, it's when a critical hit crits again and then it gives you the Brutal Strike. So there's a small chance for it to happen, but when it does you'll be seeing a ton of damage there. But the next legendary, it's Golden Bow of Apollo. If you've played the PC version, this hasn't really changed much at all. You have 750 damage rating to range powers, 10% attack speed, 10% chance on hit to create an explosion of magma, 1500 critical hit rating to range powers, and then finally you have a 10% chance when you hit to set the ground ablaze there. So that's all pretty simple enough really, to be honest, that one. We now look at the Gungar, if that's how I pronounce it. It's 1250 damage rating to force powers, 1500 critical hit rating to force powers, 2000 health, 20% chance when you hit with a power to knock your target down, and then a 5% chance on hit to enter Odin Rage, and that grants you 1000 brutal strike rating there. So I had a look through the roster and one of the heroes I found that could use force powers. I'm not sure of the rationale behind it, but it would be Cyclops. So it'd be interesting to see if there's any other heroes that have that tag. If you've found any that do, let me know in the comments below. Next up we have the Emkran Crystal, and with this one it's 200 spirit, 3000 health, 600 damage rating, 1500 critical hit rating, and finally a 5% chance in hit to eliminate enemies to the white hot room. So I would imagine that will be up to elites. I don't imagine it will work on bosses, but if you're surrounded by a ton of elites and let's just say maybe Cosmic Danger Room, it could turn out to be pretty useful. I could imagine that saving your skin every so often. The next legendary, this is a summoner's one, so it offers 50% summoned ally health, 1500 damage rating to summon powers, 1000 critical hit rating, and then the rank 4 and 5 are really quite different. The rank 4, it's a 5% chance on hit to fire mystic beams that deal damage and also heal allies. The rank 5 is when you hit, you create a deadly tsunami that does energy damage, and that's on a 5-second cooldown there, and enemies hit by it will also take 10% extra damage. Looking at the Normstones now, this one's really quite different. So let's see if I add it all up, because it's all damage rating to channeled powers. We've got 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 6,500 in total damage to channeled powers, and then a cost reduction of 15% spirit to channeled powers. I've no idea who this would work on. Again, if any of you have seen a hero that uses a lot of channeled powers in their kit, do let me know, and I'll even pin it to the comments in this particular video. Looking at the next legendary enemy, we've got the Savage Axe of Ares. So with this, 750 damage rating to melee powers, 1500 critical hit rating to movement powers, 2500 brutal damage rating, 1500 brutal strike rating, and then finishing up we've got a bleed on it, which has an 8% chance to do 8000 bleed damage twice per second for 5 seconds there. So heroes that could probably work well on when they are released in the game, I would say Electra and X23 will benefit from this very well, because they use a lot of movement skills as well as melee. Looking at the Shield of Perseus now, this is for anyone that wants to have a tankier hero. So you've got 2500 defense rating, 3000 health, 2500 deflect, 1500 dodge rating, and a 10% chance when you attack the enemy to do 20,000 physical damage and also turn them to stone, and as a result of that they'll take more damage. Now I'll mention very quickly with deflect and dodge there, the way deflect works is if you deflect an attack you will take half damage from it, and you actually deflect some of the damage back onto the actual enemy. If you dodge an attack you won't take any damage at all, so I do much prefer the dodge there. Next up we have the Warlock's Eye. So with this, it offers 1200 damage rating to magic powers, 200 spirit, 20% power duration. Now power duration is a very powerful effect, however it doesn't affect all skills. Generally it won't affect signatures, so do check your tags if you're looking to get that for a hero to make sure you'll benefit enough from it. The rank 4 enemy, it's 1500 critical hit rating to magic powers, and the rank 5 is a 5% chance when you hit to surround yourself with 5000 mental damage, and that's twice per second, so that's a dot, and that's for 5 seconds with a 5-second cooldown. Final legend you'll be looking at then is the Ultimate Nullifier. Now in total this offers 6000 damage rating and a 25% cooldown duration to the elite powers, so you'd want to be using this on a hero that's potentially got auto brute on some of their skills and also has a leap tag, and at this stage I'm not actually sure who really does have the leap tag, so I need to look into that further. There's quite a few questions that looking at these legendaries tonight has brought up, so I'll do some investigating and I'll certainly get back to you all with further info. But I do hope this particular video was useful for anyone that doesn't have access to closed beta at the moment, and it helps you get an idea where you'll be going once the game does actually go to open beta and even live. And if there's any other suggestions for other videos or content you would like me to cover, do let me know and I'll endeavour to get a video out really as soon as possible. But thanks for tuning in for this, and I'll see you all again soon.